Hello everyone and welcome to the British Esports Student Champs Cups. For today we're covering EAFC 25. I'm your host Niall and I'll be joined today with my friend Sam Yodowdle. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
I'm mighty fine and I'm very excited to get into some very good EAFC 25 gameplay. Today we will be covering the Hullraisers, I believe.
Hullraisers and the Stafford Dragons
Yes,
here. Group A games. We've got two of those today. We'll be following the Stafford Dragons throughout two of our best of threes today, which is going to be very, very exciting. They're looking to continue a very, very good run, as they've had in other titles here so far in the Student Championships. But it's the Hullraisers that we'll be focusing on. They've not had the greatest start.
Across other games, Valorant, Overwatch, other games like that, Hullraisers have been looking a little bit slow in the start of the Student Champ season, so I'm sure the EFC players will be really excited and confident to bounce back really and show a good performance.
Looking to make that really, really big impact, and of course Stafford, they're looking to continue that really, really good run that they've had so far. As I obviously mentioned, we've got those two best of threes today. That'll be very, very interesting.
Absolutely.
We've got this 6-minute half, so it's going to go, relatively quickly. They've got 10 really big teams to choose from across Europe, but that'll be also really interesting to see sort of like the dynamic and what they're going to bring in. There's plenty of talent across all of Europe's leagues at the moment, and it'll be just really, really, really interesting.
Well, back to your point about the 10 teams, like you've been covering the biggest teams in Europe, really. You have your Liverpools, you have your Man Cities, obviously your Real Madrids, Barcelonas. But what's the teams that you're really excited to see? I know you being a Man United fan, you haven't got that option.
Well, I've got to stay neutral, I'm really looking forward to see if people are going to sort of bring Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, they had that incredible season last season. That would be really, really, really interesting to see. Actually, I feel like we're going to be seeing quite a lot of sort of like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Obviously, they've got that wondrous team that they've got. I'm hoping to see Barcelona. Obviously, in real life they've been doing incredible.
Oh, they've been cruising,
Arsenal, Liverpool, against staples of sort of like European football as of late. It'll just be really, really interesting to see sort of what people are going to bring in. We will probably end up seeing Manchester City. That's going to be, the biggest team, one of the best performing teams in English football, in the last 5-10 years. It's just going to be really, really interesting to see what people want to choose, and what they want to bring in.
Well, that's it, because depending on how they play, I guess they could go ahead and pick, your biggest teams in the world, your Real Madrids with, you got Vinny, you got Mbappe, you got Courtois, you got the big teams, Bellingham, how can I forget? Or you could look to a bit of a wild card, PSG, Atletico Madrid, or, your Bayer Leverkusen, who maybe a bit fly under the radar, but they could express their skills a bit more with their tactics, how they're going to play around the field, and maybe take down these big powerhouses in Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Manchester City. But a big El Clasico is something I would love to see. Real Madrid, Barcelona.
It's a shame we're not going to get to see a proper, old like English derby, because obviously we've got Manchester City, Liverpool. Okay, there's a bit of a rivalry there, title-wise, but and then you've got sort of like Arsenal. There's no sort of like London rivalry. We've not got sort of like a Merseyside derby at all, anything like that. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see sort of like how people are going to take, like you said, these big teams. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of young talent that obviously is going to be brought on to the pitch as well, potentially. Yeah. It's going to be just really, really interesting to see how people are going to manage their team, how they're going to be able to adapt, who are they going to start,
Exactly.
Because there's plenty of options, especially in a Real Madrid team, whereas, Barcelona, they've got quite a lot of youth talent, as their sort of starting lineup. We've obviously got, veterans such as Lewandowski on the pitch as well. So that's obviously, like one of those really, really interesting things.
Stegen in goal.
Oh, obviously, actual real staples again of, European football. They've been on, the biggest stage so many times now.
Oh, they know how to perform.
They're used to it, but it'll be really interesting to see how these students can take these, big teams, mold them into their own way, and bring them onto this pitch where it's, our, inaugural week for for EAFC. It's just Group A games. It's just going to be one of those interesting ones. How are these players who have not done this so far yet? How are they going to be able to sort of adapt to, to the 10 teams that we've got, to these 6-minute halves? It's just going to be really, really interesting to see.
I think the real point that you're touching on with that adaptation is huge, and especially for the best of 3 games. If it goes to all 3 games, how will they adapt each game?
Exactly.
Will they, start with a big team, then maybe try something else, or will they stay loyal? Maybe they'll pick the same team all 3 games. Yeah. Maybe they'll think, this isn't working. Let's try a different formation, try some different tactics. Maybe high press, low blocks. The amount of different ranges of tactics that are in FIFA these days, or EAFC, should I say, is kind of where you can separate the top players from the not so good. Yeah. So we'll really again following the Stafford Dragons throughout the day. That will be something to see how these particular players will adapt
Yeah, no,
across to different opponents as well.
Yeah,
we start with Hullraisers, then later on
we've got the Chi Cobras.
Exactly.
That'll be very, very interesting to see. Again, it's going to be one of the ones that, if the Stafford Dragons could pull out, that first win, the Chi Cobras would have had plenty of time to sort of look at how their tactics are going to run in their own first game. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see, can they, come together? Are we going to have this sort of big clash of, potential rivalry down the line?
Yeah.
Or are the Stafford Dragons, maybe they're going to slip up, maybe they're not going to have, a good first game. You just never know, really. It's just one of the ones where football can go either way.
Oh, 100%.
They've really, really got to keep that sort of possession. They've got to keep everything moving. They've got to keep, they just really got to be creative, quite frankly.
Yeah.
They can't do the same old tactics over and over again. You have to see, okay, well, that through ball didn't work that time, so now, how am I going to be able to move the ball around? This team didn't work for me. It just wasn't doing it for me. How am I going to be able to do this now? It's one of those things where we definitely have to see that.
So as I know you play a lot of EAFC yourself.
I do, yes.
And the new 25 game, as well as previous year's 24.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think, this game, the meta will, obviously, it's very early on. It's the very first game. You don't really know how the meta's going to be. But from your experience of playing the game, the little that you might have, what do you think will be, is it a game that you could really dominate with pace, or is it, fish the wide players? Is it tiki-taka? How would you go into the game if you were playing yourself?
I feel like, personally, I'm a guy who likes to sort of just exploit space where possible.
Right.
I like the pacey sort of overlap between left wing back and left wing.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be to see, these teams that do have pacey left wingers, how are they going to be able to sort of just, overlap, come back, bring these players back, but also how can, these two attacking left wing and right wing backs, how are they going to be able to cut in the midfield, exploit that space in the midfield, allow the midfielders, who are already there to help push up, keep that sort of high press up, whilst also, being able to sort of interchange in their own, respective positions. I think what's going to be interesting as well is the use of, an attacking midfielder. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, one of those ones where they are the support striker. They are going to be the creative sort of midfield maestro in the middle. Yeah. We're going to need to see how they're going to be able to help pushing the striker onwards, or, a potential, two striker lineup. You never know what teams might run nowadays. It's just going to be very, very interesting to see how they're going to be able to sort of, help exploit the space, make sure that they've got all of the sort of midfield control, pushing out to the wingers, getting in. We might see, a couple of corners here and there, a couple of crosses into the box. You never know. It's not all about black and white, just pressing football anymore. You have to be very, very creative with it, and that's something that I'm really, really, really.
It's a great point you bring up, because it's not all about attacking. They've got to be able to defend. If their defending skills are so good, they might just nick a goal and win 1-0.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have to be the best attacking player. They just need to know how to navigate that kind of 90, 80 minutes, whatever it is. Find that way forward with a counter attack. Maybe a corner comes in, they take it on the break and they nick a goal.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we've seen it several times so far this season with with the Premier League.
Yeah.
You look at teams like Nottingham Forest, for example.
Oh, they're flying.
Who are absolutely flying, and they use those sort of tactics where they just help exploit their space. They've got great defending, and that's what we're looking to see here today, especially with Stafford Dragons, who are going to really, really hope to pull out a win today. But it's going to be, how can sort of Hullraisers go, okay, we have all of this knowledge of how they're going to defend. How can I help sort of bring those defenders out of place, slot in behind those defenders, get some maybe some easy tap-ins. I'm hoping to see just an absolute worldie today. It's going to be really, really, really exciting.
Outside the box, 20, 30 yards.
Mate, yeah, just prime Paul Scholes,
Yeah,
just incredible behaviour. That's really what I'm looking to see. But yeah, again, it's just all about how is that space going to be exploited. How are they going to be able to get in behind, make a creative move, make that timed run, green time, just easy, in the back of the net. Keeper stands basically no chance, and that's what we're really, really looking for.
Yeah. So from what I gather, from what I'm hearing, it's a lot to do with the midfield. It's a lot with finding the spaces, working your way through. Again, back in my days playing EAFC, that's kind of how tiki-taka player. I wasn't someone to abuse skills, but then a lot of these players, I bet they can pull out the 5-star skill moves.
100%.
Especially if you've got the Mbappes, the Vinny Juniors. We'll kind of see how they progress with those kind of plays. But yeah, the defending, I think, is a big part of the game, which really gets underlooked.
Yeah.
What did you do? So
I think you mentioned it perfectly with sort of the tiki-taka football, and that's one of the big things, especially that in the last 10, 15 years, that teams really, really look to do.
Yeah.
And it's how I'm sure that these students, that they've watched football so many times, they love watching football. It's sort of like their life, really. And what they want to do is they can see, how can I bring sort of these tactics that I know and love, how can I bring this into EAFC? Because with the updated system that they decided to revamp in EAFC 24, with how you can sort of have tactics in Korea and in Ultimate Team, it's very, very different now. And there's obviously a lot more of these sort of like these skill moves you can do, and they've all got these sort of like special attributes with like, you know, the power shot, power header. You know, they've got extra pace, for example. I think that's something else as well, is that a lot of players that would go under the radar are now not under the radar purely because they're being utilized in this game. And, you know, we're going to get to see more and more players sort of brought on who may not be, you know, the greatest, but they're going to be so instrumental in, you know, in helping.
That's actually really true. So I was like, as you were talking there, I was thinking that you got the lower teams, you know, your Atletico Madrid, and even in this kind of pool, you got Liverpool, teams like that. You could bring on some players if you know those players inside out, those teams, those squad, how to utilize and really best push on with your team. They might have hidden skills, they might have you know, hidden stats that you just don't look at. They get overlooked, and they can really exploit their opponents who have no idea. They might just pick, you know, your Real Madrid's thinking, oh, I've got the best team. But if they're not the best players, they won't be winning the game.
It is exactly that. I think when sort of like you look at Real Madrid and you look at this team that's a real powerhouse, you know, you have to compare them. If they've got this incredible lineup of, you know, you've got World Cup winners on the pitch, you've got, you know, World Cup finalists, you've got Champions League winners, you know, the world over. But what people don't realise is it's not all about just, you know, the players. It's about how you play the players. And that's something that's really, really important when you know, when you're bringing sort of like this philosophy in. So yeah, that's just really important.
Yeah. So we've just been told that there's a slight delay to getting into the game. Hullraisers has picked an invalid team, so we're just waiting to remake that lobby and get into game for you. Again, that's our problem with the only 10 teams allowed. So, you know, you try and play with your Man Uniteds, your Tottenhams, but you have that problem, and you just can't really get through.
That's very true.
So there's a lot of teams that you can play in the league. I am aware that some of the teams like Inter Milan, they're not you know, they're not called Inter Milan, so there might be a little problem like that.
There's one of those ones where you've got, you know, EA, they've got these obviously like these rights issues that they can have. You know, you have to get the licenses and stuff, and that's obviously just a complete pain. But they're very, very kind that, you know, some teams such as they've got, I think it's like Milan Calcio, I think it is, or, you know, Lombardy FC or something like that. They've got players that, you know, they are you know, you're still allowed to use sort of like your favourite teams under a different name. You know, we've seen this in recent years with Juventus, for example. They've always had, you know, a different name. It tends to be the Italian teams.
It really does. Maybe there must be something over there. You always have your standard England teams, Spanish teams. Over there in Italian, they've got some problems.
I mean, it's the same with Atalanta in recent years. You know, obviously, you know, they won the Europa League last year, but they didn't have Atalanta in EAFC 24. They had a completely different name.
Of course.
It's mostly, I think they take like the region that they're based in and have that sort of as their team name. So it still means that you can play with your favourite players. But obviously, you know, it's
different names.
Well, you know, you might not know that, you know, which team you're actually looking at. And I think that's really, really interesting because it's, you know, it dates back so far now. These sorts of things, and it's just something that happens. It happens in every sort of game like this, really, where, you know, you can't secure the rights to the names. You obviously got different names, etc. So it's just a bit of a difficult one.
While you were talking, I was just thinking, because I know going back to what we said earlier about not being any, like, you know, Man United, Man City used to play against each other. I believe we have got Inter Milan versus AC Milan. I believe they both on there.
I didn't see AC Milan on the lineup, but I mean, if it is, that's going to be a big one. Well, we'll have a Madrid derby because we'll have Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, so that'll be a very, very interesting one.
Okay, so we've just been told that we have got the game one teams in. Stafford Dragons will be playing Manchester City, and the Hullraisers will be playing Inter Milan.
So very, very interesting one.
We've got a bit of a titan in Man City. Well, that's a rematch of the
Champions League final. I was just thinking the same thing. You know, how long ago was that, lads? It was a year, 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2022.
Yeah, 22? I mean that's crazy. So that was a 1-0 win. Rodri scoring the winning goal. I remember watching that.
I mean, he's just come off a recent Ballon d'Or win as well.
Yeah, and so, you know, so that's just very, very interesting.
We're going straight to game.
Yeah, well, we are straight in there today.
So fantastic. Now we got a attack. I believe that's the Inter Milan play.
Yeah, so it's Nicola Barella running down the sideline there. You've got, you know, the ball's coming back in the middle now. They're going to try and work this out. And again, as I'm saying, you know, you've got these wing backs that are very useful. You've got Bastoni, you've got Dumfries, you've got DeMarco, and they're going to be very, very useful in bringing this forward. I can see sort of like a back line of, you know, a back four with these inverted wing backs here, and that's going to be very, very important, especially when you're, again, trying to exploit their place on the wing, you know, work into that midfield, and see how can you actually sort of like just continue to push forward. And I think that's really, really important here.
Exactly.
And there are really big names in this Inter lineup. You know, you've got Mkhitaryan, for example. You've got Lautaro Martinez, who's just an incredible striker for Argentina. And there's a bit of a move there. Oh, what an incredible goal there.
A great finish. As you were chatting,
well, I mean,
out of nowhere.
It's Erling Haaland. You know, it's just one of those things where it's Erling Haaland. He will always find a space just to score, and you've exploited that sort of like front line, which is really, really important here.
Well, they say he doesn't turn up for big games, but he's certainly come up to this one today. So just to confirm, it's Man City shooting right to left, Inter Milan shooting left to right, Hullraisers as Inter Milan, and Stafford Dragons as Manchester City. As we see a attack here from the. Oh no, it's very cut out. As I said that, it's a Kyle Walker, I believe.
It's been very definitely cut out, and you can see they're trying to move it back into sort of like this front line. And it's Martinez on the side, but Edison's going to make that save, and it's going to be out for a corner.
It's great defending from the Inter Milan. Oh, for Man City, sorry.
Yeah, well, for Man City, they're in that sort of like burgundy-coloured kit here. They're both playing alternate kits here, and it's all very close. Very, very close. Right behind Edison there was Pavard trying to get the ball in the back of the net, but he can't, sadly.
Yeah, it's a wasted opportunity from that one. But it's been back and forth. It's been a really lively start.
Yeah.
As his seed has gone out to Guardiola. He's played up to Doku, the Belgian winger, who's using his fancy feet to make his way through. Erling Haaland, he's got another chance to make it 2-0, but no.
Green timed the shot, but the Inter keeper, he was very, very, very aware of that one. We're going to see Summit here. Got Kevin De Bruyne,
KDB
of course.
has to be on,
you have to be the set-piece man himself. Lovely little chip in. Erling Haaland. Oh, great save.
He's had chances to make it. Well, he's already.
Fatal error there from
has to be the goalkeepers, that one. Yeah. Picks that up. But yeah, it's a chance for Haaland to make it. He could have had a hat-trick by now.
Yeah, man.
He had 3 opportunities.
Very, very fatal error there from the Inter defenders. And, it's interesting to see how, the centre-backs are there and and the midfielders are there to sort of capitalise on that error there, which is really, really important.
It does seem like a few errors already from both sides. So, they're just trying to capitalise on the mistakes they get. I do notice that on the wing, Man City have got Bob playing.
Yeah, Oscar Bob instead.
Bob, so he's a big local lad.
A bit more reliable than Jack Grealish, I'm sure.
Well, apparently to this man, he believes so.
Yeah. It's nice to see Rodri, however, in that midfield. Obviously, he's not playing at the moment. He picked up that injury in the City-Arsenal game a couple of weeks ago. So, and obviously, like we've already mentioned, coming off the back of that Ballon d'Or, and here it is, Erling Haaland.
Another Lahana shot. Oh, he's not even hit the target. I think he's got to do better there.
Yeah, he does. He's green on that shot. It's another error from Jan Sommer here.
There has been a pause accused by Hullraisers, but it doesn't matter if
it's
2-0 already.
It's Oscar Bob.
It's Oscar Bob.
As expected.
Oscar Bob has made it 2-0. 23 minutes into the game.
It's just incredible from Stafford here.
It's such a shaky start from the Inter Milan guys in Hullraisers. Yeah, it's just not what they wanted to start off their campaign.
No, I mean it's one of those ones where you're playing for the first time. It's it's a really, really big one. There's obviously going to be some problems.
Yeah, some nerves, some jitters. Yeah, of course.
Thankfully, it is that best of 3 here. However, it's one of those teams where Inter Milan are very, very strong in Italy. There's a big title race going on there between 4 or 5 teams.
It looks like we're getting back into the game now, as it is now 2-0, of course. I'm not too sure if that was a substitution or just shaking off the nerves.
Yeah, technical problem. We just had to take 20-30 seconds, and I completely understand that. It happens in every sport. It is as well. Yeah, Pavard has come off the pitch. There's a bit of a change at right wing back there, and of course, Inter have got this lineup where you've got your 4, and you have that ability to sort of just change things. And again, as I mentioned, they have a really, really strong team. Hakan Çalhanoğlu in the middle, the Turkish CDM. It's a really, really important player for Inter. He's essentially the Rodri of Italy at the moment.
I do like how they've noticed the problem, changing it early to give them the most amount of time to fix it. And hopefully, Pavard coming off will really restructure their defense, because clearly something's wrong in this early stages.
Something is definitely wrong, and what's nice to see as well is again, we're looking at how much midfield and how much wing play there is, and you've got O'Reilly here in the middle. He's going to find Doku with a lovely through ball here. It's a lovely little interception, but it is a free kick there. Referee's played advantage, and it will be. What?
So who takes free kicks? Is it KDB?
Surely it's got to be
Jeremy Doku.
KDB. I mean, it's going to be Erling Haaland. He'll end up taking this.
See, they've changed the format of how you do free kicks now.
Yeah.
Let's see if this
a lot more streamlined.
Have mastered it straight into the wall, I'm afraid.
Yeah, straight in the wall.
They retain possession as offside. It looks to be offside.
Just one of those ones where you have to get your positioning right. Oscar Bob there, he's quite comfortably offside. It was a really, really good sort of trap there off the free kick, and it just now means that Inter will now regain possession. They have some time to sort of think about it. There's not very long left here in this first half.
Yeah.
And, again, here I am saying about, this lovely sort of midfield exploitation here from Inter. They've caught City off guard, and it's quite comfortable that they'll just be able to sort of like pass the ball around. Of course, they've now lost the ball, and it'll be out to Oscar Bob here on this right-hand side, and he'll probably look for a cheeky chip in as, there's some ball rolls coming out there.
I do love how the Stafford Dragons are playing this. The possession they're keeping, the passing, forward, backwards. Here's Oscar Bob.
Oh, what an endeavour.
I think, the Inter Milan really need to slow it down, calm down, get some possession, and see it out to half-time, because right now, Erling Haaland, he's gone for another one. He's through it.
Oh.
It's a fantastic goal line clearance, really, from Basuk.
It's incredible, but, it's not over yet. As, Kevin De Bruyne has managed to get the ball to Oscar Bob there. It'll be DeMarco here.
Just pass it around the back. That's what I would be doing right now. Just see it out to half-time, because clearly it's being overwhelmed. Hullraisers is being overwhelmed. And unless they can find a quick counter-attack before the half-time whistle, I don't see the scoreline changing.
We've got some advantage played here, and there's definitely some time forward. However, they thought they were probably going to get the free kick there. Did Inter, however, not going to be the case. It's going to be pulled out again onto that left-hand side, and it's DeMarco again. He'll try and make a move, but he's got Oscar Bob on him.
Oscar Bob's having a phenomenal first half.
Phenomenal first half, yeah. He's making a lot of interceptions on that left-hand side there. Really, really being a pain in DeMarco's side.
That's it. He's trying to nick out any little mistake the defence can make for them. But here comes the Hullraisers. Mkhitaryan, he has been through many teams, but he's out on the wing for Inter Milan now. Is that a free kick? It looks like it will
be a free kick. He's gone down with with what looks to be a bit of injury as well. It was a bit of a hefty tackle.
It is. We have 1 minute at a time, so this will be the last kick of the half.
And Kyle Walker, he's picked up a yellow card for that one. It's a lovely run. Edison, he spotted that one. He's come forward. He's dropped straight to his knees and managed to grab that. Absolutely incredible.
That will be half-time. 2-0 to Manchester City and the Stafford Dragons. It's a fantastic first half.
It's just incredible, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, what's your standouts from the first half?
Well, I think, again, as I've already said already, that exploitation of the midfield was incredible. And they've got that Oscar Bob on that, on that sort of right-hand side, being a real issue for, DeMarco there. I think what Hullraisers need to do now is they need to look at, again, that possession that you were talking about. Possession is one of those big things where if you can get hold of the ball, you can work it around well enough, then you can get it in the back of the net. It's one of those ones where you have enough time at the moment. You don't need to sort of rush things. You need to just, go, okay, how can I win this? How can I be smart about this? How can I push the ball forward to make sure, that I'm getting my players in the box? Because, until that free kick and maybe, one or two other instances, Inter have not been past their own halfway.
Oh, not at all. They had maybe a couple of chances in the first 10 minutes. And apart from that, that was a very last free kick at the end of the half. And that was really a mistake from Kyle Walker and the Stafford Dragons, making that mistake, picking up that yellow card.
I think, that's obviously going to be a real problem. There's potential that a substitution will have to be made. Obviously, you can't have Kyle Walker on that yellow, and that's just going to be a real issue. We're going to go get thrown back now to the game here for the second half. We're very, very excited.
So we'll see if there has been any subs, any changes that has been made. But it looks like maybe they're just they're still thinking about their tactics.
Still thinking about their tactics. I understand that,
But we see the possession stats here. Yeah, Manchester City. It's a lot closer than you thought.
Yeah.
On paper.
But
53 to 47. Sorry.
I mean, those 9 shots though that have been attempted by Manchester City is just incredible.
It's what you do with the possession, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, that first strike from Erling Haaland was just incredible on the back of the net.
It doesn't turn up in big games, but this is a big game.
Very, very big game. He's no chance there. We're going to get just a cheeky replay of that Kyle Walker foul. Yeah, that was definitely a foul here. Is this the lovely Oscar Bob attempt? Again,
I guess what I'm going back to earlier, I don't think everyone would have thought Oscar Bob should make man in Manchester City, but he's been the main man in the first half.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's been instrumental, and again, he's one of those players where he's been dancing around sort of in a centre forward position more than anything. Cutting in from that right hand side, assisting Haaland. You can see he's just been an absolute menace for the left hand side back too, and it's just been a real issue.
Absolutely, and finally, I think we get back into the second half with Inter Milan now kicking from right to left. And hopefully they can, it looks like they've already made at least a double change.
Yeah, it's a double substitution here for Inter Milan. They've brought on 2 players again. As I mentioned, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, he's been taken to the pitch now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, are they going to lose that holding midfield there? But Jeremy Doku's making an impact already on that left-hand side, and sort of like natural left back here of very, very, very definitely cut out there by Bastoni.
It's a great cut out. I'm not sure what he was doing with the putting it away for a corner kick, but these things happen. A short corner kick as well for Kevin De Bruyne, who plays it from the back post. Safely done with. This is the problem that they're having. They just can't transition from the defence to the midfield.
No, and it's given away by Thuram, and they'll end up picking it back up here. And it's Mkhitaryan on the ball, but again, Josko Vardiol, who's not that sort of natural left back here, he's used to playing centre back as he was, and it's Oscar Bob, and he's now exploited that space. Lovely. And again, that's what I'm saying. That space exploitation is really, really key and really, really crucial, especially for wingers who are desperately going to be wanting to sort of come in, and they're going to want to make a real impact.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Unfortunately, the long throw in didn't make anything of it. But here comes the counter attack for Inter Milan.
It's a lovely ball down that left hand side.
They only have one option in the midfield, in the box, sorry, and
Thuram, he really tried to make something of it, and DeMarco's there.
Very dangerous defending here, though.
DeMarco's very much in the way, and Carl Walker's on the ball. It's a lovely cross in, just outside of the box, and it's just a poor effort here.
At least they managed to keep the high press going into Milan. Keep it up in the away from their box. That's the main thing right now.
Yeah, that's the really important thing. They've finally gotten out there in half, and they've made a real effort to get there. And Dumfries on that right hand side has been really useful. It's back in the midfield now for Jeremy Doku, and again, it's just a lot of back and forth.
I kind of see now how the possession was really equal. It was like this in the first half. I guess the Manchester City team came out the benefactor. In total. But here's Mkhitaryan. He seems to be taking a bit more of a leading role in the second half. As I say that though, got Kevin De Bruyne taking it out to Oscar Bob. He's done a great work down the right hand flank. Can he get it in the box? There's no lot of help.
Lovely ball roll there.
And nicely cut out from the Inter Milan. And let's see how they can transition into their midfield. Again, it's just wasteful. It's just wasteful.
I mean, you have to look at sort of like these possession stats and these shots. Inter Milan, they're losing quite a lot of their ball control in the midfield from that transition from defensive line up to midfield. Yeah. That's a real problem, and it's going to continue to haunt them because they're not going to be able to get the ball out there in half here. As we sort of see, DeMarco here trying to make an effort, and it's a beautiful run from the right wing back, and it's actually in the box. But again, it's just the problem that the finishing is not there. It's the really positioning is also just sort of slightly off.
It does seem like Inter Milan are better, or they seem better prepared for this second half. They've been a bit more on the ball. They've got a bit of tempo going here now with Dumfries.
And it's just it's short passing into the box, and Thuram, he's going to try to make something of it. But Gvardiol's going to put that out for a lovely corner here.
See if they can make anything of it. You can see the position of Ederson. He's really far out of his goal. He's almost on the penalty spot, and can they exploit it?
Well, it's a poor effort here, but Morello's going to try, and it's going to be thrown back to DeMarco, who's still in the box. It's going to an effort there.
It's a deflection from the Man City defence, but of course it's not a back pass, it's a deflection.
No, of course, and Ederson has read that very well, and it'll be a throw in now at the moment.
You see all the fatigued players on the Manchester City side, but it doesn't really stop them. They're keeping going. That's a great ball out there. Jeremy Doku.
Lovely ball roll. He's got plenty of space and time. Lovely shots.
What a save.
Incredible save by Jan Sommer there to throw the ball back out for Oscar Bob, and he's going to try and dribble through. But again, it's a great double save from Sommer.
Yeah, City had an absolute masterclass there, but will it matter?
Will it matter? No, Erling Haaland.
Is he onside? It looks like he is onside. It's 3-0.
He'll make that a brace, an 8-minute goal, a 72-minute goal here, and he's just, it's just incredible. In this first game, we'll get to see, a serious, display of real greatness. Well,
that's it. Erling Haaland with the brace. One for Oscar Bob. That's going to be offside. I think right now it should be game, set, and match for this first game for the Stafford Dragons. It's just how can the Hullraisers kind of stop the bleeding, if you will. They find a bit of form for the last 15 minutes, and then come back into game 2 with a bit of possession. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen with Erling Haaland. He's found his way through and goal again. Is he last man? Is that going to be a red card?
No, just a yellow for him. However, but it's still a poor tackle there from Matteo Darmian. It's one of those ones where Haaland, he's really strong. It's just poor overall. You need to sort of get in front of your player. I know it's difficult when you've got this sort of Norwegian giant barreling at you.
Absolutely.
Oh, and there he is again.
That's great tiki-taka play. That's just classic Man City, that is.
And this is what I was saying earlier as well. That's now a hat trick for Erling Haaland today. An incredible display of real strength from the Stafford Dragons. But what was I saying? It's all about that. Making sure that you're doing that passing move, making sure you're getting into that midfield, making sure that wing space is being exploited. And that's
fantastic defending. I think, the Stafford Dragons has really played a masterclass here. I wouldn't be surprised if they play Man City for the second game if they can as well. Because the way they've just got structure of this team, Oscar Bob, Jeremy Doku, Erling Haaland at the top, their front three is, they're causing Inter Milan all kinds of problems.
Again, you're saying that Oscar Bob, he's moving out of his natural right wing. He's allowing Carl Walker to run up the pitch now and try and sort of do that overlap, which is seen quite often now.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those ones where again, here we are.
Cool, they want some more. Kevin De Bruyne, he looks like he's gone for a goal. He's passed to Erling Haaland, who's found Oscar Bob.
Oh,
but not this time.
tried the cheeky chip over Sommer, but he's read that very well. And again, we're seeing a beautiful sort of like midfield exploitation. As again, I keep saying about the ball is lovely here for Lautaro Martinez, and Edison's off his line. So an endeavouring chip. Martinez again, and Edison for a double. Wow.
See, it looked like for a minute that Edison, they were a bit undecided whether they were come or go, but it looks like they've really got it down. Edison's positioning was phenomenal. Can Inter Milan nick a goal back before the end of the game? He's gone to the far post.
It's a bit far out there. Taram, is there a hand in there? No. Akanji will now clear that out to Doku, and it's a lovely counter-attacking endeavour. And again, it's Kevin De Bruyne in that midfield.
He's goal. It's Holland. Can he get a fourth goal?
A little bit too far out, and thankfully Jan Sommer's read that one for Inter. And he's put a bit of a brick at the back line. However, it's not been the world's greatest performance from him today.
It's not been. Again, he stopped the bleeding where he can. It's 4-0, so you can't compliment him too much. But when he has made the saves, and when he can make the saves, he has done so. He has had a lot of help from his defenders. 1 minute at a time, so the game should just about be done. Erling Haaland on the ball, but that will be the game whistle.
Well,
and for the series, it'll be 1-0 for the Stafford Dragons.
Yeah, and they've picked up that match ball as well. Obviously, important for me to mention that. Wow, what an absolute! I don't want to say ruination because it's only that first game, but
that's it. It's Group A. It's game one.
It's just game one. It's just day one. We have potentially up to another 2 matches left in this series so far. What an endeavour from Manchester City.
What a performance from the Stafford Dragons. And yeah, from start to finish, again, it was a bit shaky for the first 10 minutes, but once they got the first goal, Erling Haaland, they were cruising into that Jeremy Doku. Oscar Bob, sorry.
Oscar Bob as well,
Oscar Bob, those front three, just about to pass with.
The front three.
Rodri really holding that midfield. I think the defence for Edison, again, he was a big sweeper keeper at the back. I think Stafford Dragons really played a phenomenal game.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm lost for words. That performance is incredible. I'm hearing as well we're going to have a bit of a change here, team-wise, for our second game of a potential couple more. Hullraisers are going to be selecting Liverpool.
I mean, I'm not surprised seeing the switch up. Inter Milan, Liverpool, bit of a difference. Again, they clearly didn't work. The squad, the format, the formation just wasn't for the Hullraisers for Inter Milan. I don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon. Big switch up, I like it. We'll be now seeing if Stafford Dragons will run back to Manchester City.
Yeah.
Is that what you would do?
Listen, it's a tried and tested method, clearly. Stafford Dragons, they know what they're doing with City. They know exactly what's going to go on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, again, Liverpool City. It's another one of those big sort of title rivalries. It'll be nice to see how Liverpool can, now react to City. They've got sort of very similar compositions, very similar lineups, really, in every regard. City playing this, really, really sort of high line striker, and that's what we like to see. It's really nice that we're going to get to see Liverpool come onto this pitch now, and I'm just really, really excited to see sort of what Stafford.
It's going to be a great game because I believe we have got Manchester City versus Liverpool again, which is kind of unexpected, or should I say, really expected. So we're getting into game now. So yes, we've got Liverpool kicking left. Is it right to left?
Yeah, right to left. Yeah.
We have Manchester City left to right. So let's see if the Liverpool team, should I say, can bring a bit more success for the Hullraisers. But as I say that, Oscar Bob has found possession high up in the field. He's going for a shot. Alisson makes a nice save.
Very, very lucky there that the midfielder there, is that their holding midfielder, he's come back there and he's made a lovely, lovely move. It's, of course, Alexis McAllister, the Argentine there. Really, really lucky for him to get back there. And we get to see Federico Chiesa on the pitch now, the signing in from Juventus, I believe. I may be wrong about that one.
I think you're right about that.
Had a great Euros.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I do like how they stick with Manchester City, the Stafford Dragons. We have Jeremy Doku. It looks like the same exact lineup. So
yeah, nothing's changed there. As Dominic Szoboszlai is going to get the ball to Darwin Núñez, and it's Chiesa, and he's
what a finish!
Incredible finish there from Federico Chiesa, who is currently injured at the moment. He's not actually playing for Liverpool.
And that's exactly the start the Hullraisers needed. Quick adaptation of the team, change to Liverpool, and a quick early goal in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what was important. Again, you look at how can they sort of have McAllister, Chiesa cutting across to help Núñez here. Yeah. Ruben Dias is going to make that stop there, and it's forward for Haaland, who's only got 3 people on him. But I mean,
Erling Haaland, it's 1-0 in the spaces of it feels like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, it really is.
It really was 30 seconds.
But you look at how well Erling Haaland is, that strength he's got on him to just take on 2 or 3 defenders. It's just comfortable.
That's it. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have much support. He's that strong. He's that fast. He can just go ahead and push on and do it by himself. We have Darwin Núñez on the ball now. Let's see if Hullraisers can bite back. But at least they've got a goal. They've got a little bit to work off.
Yeah,
the great through ball to
too.
Mohamed Salah.
Oh, cracking behaviour from Dominic Szoboszlai to get that ball straight through. Lovely through ball. Mohamed Salah again cutting it across to come down and assisting that goal scoring prowess here. Is again, as I mentioned, Doku. He's now going to cut through. He's going to just try and be a bit fancy. Thankfully, however, Manu Akanji is going to pick that ball back up here.
It's been a fantastic start to this game. 2-1 in the first 15 minutes. Cool. It's like the Champions League Tottenham Man City all over again.
Oh yeah, well it's like Christmas. The amount of goals here is Gaze is trying to flick on Ruben Dias, but you can't do that to somebody like Dias.
Absolutely not.
The brick wall at the back. Just an incredibly sensational player here. Oscar Bob's going to cut inside. He's going to find recent Ballon d'Or winner Rodri.
He's a phenomenal talent.
Absolutely phenomenal. Very much deserved in my
it's a great through ball though.
Yeah.
Here comes Jeremy Doku.
Oh,
great defending from Alisson and great closing down from, I believe that was Trent.
Doku's still got the ball alive. Yeah, it's Kevin De Bruyne just far out for Rodri. Is he going to try and fake shot that? Lovely endeavour. Alisson's going to make that stop and it's back out for Trent. Alexis McAllister's going to try and get the ball up, but he can't. He's got Erling Haaland in the middle. It's just in. It just had to be in. I mean, come on, it's Erling Haaland. Absolutely incredible.
That's really what seems to have Stafford Dragons ahead right now. They seem to have that edge because they got the high press. Once they have an attack, it stays up there. It takes a long time for it to get back to the Hullraisers' attacking positions, but as we say that, we have now, it's cut out.
We had Curtis Jones on the ball, and he's now sadly had the ball definitely cut out from his hands. It's Oscar Bob, lovely wide ball there.
Phenomenal ball.
Out to Jeremy Doku, and he's going to just run this ball down, no problems, past one in the middle. Erling Haaland now. No good, Virgil van Dijk's going to come forward. It's Dominic Szoboszlai, Darwin Nunez, and it's out on the wide position.
One-on-one. Is he going to cut it? Or he is going to
cut it. It's Federico Chiesa in the most open position of his life. Absolutely incredible.
3-2 in the first half an hour. That's incredible. What a great start we've had here.
We can see how the change has happened here and how interesting it is. And it's one of those really useful things where clearly the Inter wasn't working out for him. The lineup just wasn't working. He's now got this really, really sort of strong Liverpool side here. As Chiesa's looking to get the ball through to Nunez. He's just got that ever so slightly just wide.
Well, that's it. You see the difference from game one. They were what, 2-0 down by this point, maybe 1-0. Barely a shot on goal, and now they've scored 3 goals.
Yeah, they've scored 3 goals,
So the adaptation's been phenomenal from the Hullraisers. Trying to push it to that game 3 in this best of 3. But obviously, the Stafford Dragons will do all they can to prevent that.
Well,
Jeremy Doku on the wing.
I mean, do you think we'll see that sort of best of 3 actually come into fruition now? Because we've got Jeremy Doku here, like you said, just pushing, but Ibrahim Konate is going to be in the way. It's not a problem. But I would really like to see this go to a 3rd game.
Absolutely, with the games and the kind of high goal scoring games we've seen, I'd love to see it push to game 3. Long way to go though, 30 minutes into this half, and it's been a great ball out to Chiesa.
I mean, Curtis Jones, lovely ball here. He's got 2 defenders on him. It's a lovely little chip up forward for Darwin Nunez. Is he going to have it a go? No. Yes, he is. Maybe.
Oh, it's an open kick. Oh, wow.
Ruben Dias with the bicycle to get the clearance out to Doku there on that
level. They say defenders aren't flexible.
Incredible behaviour. Lovely little come together there on the right-hand side to stop Erling Haaland's attack. It's Dominic Szoboszlai now. Out to Mohamed Salah, and it's Nunez. Going to keep the ball here. Chiesa's past his man. No, he's not.
Great defending there from Akanji, Edison. See the composure that defensive Man City have, and the Stafford Dragons utilising that so well. They have made a mistake here. They found our way to Chiesa. It's too tight. It's too tight.
Too tight
defending from Edison.
Yeah, I mean, he needed to hit that a bit earlier. A little bit of finesse on that. That probably would have gone in the back of the net. It's just a bit of a shame that obviously he got closed down quite well there by the City defenders, and it's a lovely bit of exploitation of space. It's Jeremy Doku. Will he look to find Haaland in the middle? He can't now, really. It's a lovely goal. He doesn't need him. Of course he doesn't.
It's Jeremy Doku.
He's creating that space on the wing. He's very, very creative, winger here. And Stafford are showing now they are not out of it yet.
Oh no.
That sort of like early lead that the Hullraisers have taken was important, but again, there's still another 45 minutes.
That's it. It's 6 goals in the first half, 3-3, and there could be 1 more. There could even be 2 more. Oscar Bob on the ball now, cut out by. Now we have Curtis Jones to Chiesa. He's found him fantastically.
Absolutely incredible that. Andy Robertson as well getting back there to make that stop, and it's an endeavour in that midfield that just hasn't gone very well, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I am noticing how the Liverpool attackers are finding themselves very deep on the halfway line. As we see Jeremy Doku again on the ball, called it to KDB. A nice 1-2 there. 3-4, should I say?
Whoa. He's tried that again here, and Oscar Bob has managed to win the ball back from Curtis Jones. Van Dijk, of course, that Dutch brick wall at the back. You were never going to get past that. What an incredible first half that was.
That is the half-time. Wow, that is 6 goals. A brilliant shift from the Hullraisers. I love how they've gone from game 1 to game 2, the adaptation. But again, you won't count Stafford Dragons out.
No,
They've
yeah.
got 3 goals, it's 3-3.
You shouldn't really count them out, you know. I think that they're really showing a real good prowess to sort of get in those positions and try and score. But Hullraisers, what a sensational opening goal that was, first of all. And how they've managed to then go and say, okay, it might have been 4-0 in the first game, but it's definitely not going to be 4-0 this game.
That's it. It doesn't matter. Game one. But if they win the next 2 games, they win the series. So
Yeah.
they can put the first game to bed.
It will be really interesting to see, can Hullraisers keep themselves in it so that we go to a game 3 tonight.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see sort of any, if any changes are going to be made to the teams here.
I was going to say that to you. Would you make any subs? Do you see any holes, maybe?
I don't see any sort of holes in any lineup. I think they're very balanced at the moment, and and we're back now here. As obviously sides have changed here. We're going to see
it's
sort
an
of
early great switch from Trent to
Chiesa. He's tried that. Edison.
Sorry, I was just looking at the substitutions.
No, yeah, going to say.
Yeah.
So Ryan Gravenberch has come on the pitch here for Curtis Jones. Joe Gomez has come on for Ibrahim Konate, and I did see that Dominic Szoboszlai has been pulled off for Luis Diaz. So that's 3 Liverpool substitutions, at half time.
It surprises me, because I think the way Hullraisers have really played that first half, it was kind of working in a way. So I thought they would have kept it the same. But as I say that, here comes the shot.
He's tried it. He needed to just be, they have a lot of shots on target. They've got a lot of, again, that space exploitation, but it's positioning that's now the problem.
Yeah.
They've done everything right so far here. As again, there's Jeremy Doku exploiting that space. He's got that great positioning. It's Erling Haaland.
Ooh.
Lovely little jockey at the end there. That was incredible. Little foot in to stop that, and it'll be through Ryan Gravenberch here that, it'll go back out to Chiesa on the wing, and these lovely long balls are just incredible.
That's it. It's risky defending, but it works. And, Man City, they just seem to be a bit more solid at the start of the second half. We'll see a lot of back and forth, just like we expect. Kevin De Bruyne on the ball now, coming out to Oscar Bob.
I can see there comfortably on the top there. It's 5 shots to 8, and again, all these shots that are being taken, Liverpool have taken less shots with more goals,
but they made them count.
They have made them count. Yeah.
Is that
a penalty? That looks well. I'm not entirely sure what that was now.
Virgil van Dijk.
It is a penalty. It is a spot kick for Erling Haaland. Where will he go with this?
Can he get his hat trick?
Looking at green time miss to that bottom left comfortably.
Was there any doubt?
Erling
Haaland. Is that 2 hat tricks in a row?
It's 2 hat tricks in a row, and it will mean that Stafford Dragons have picked up an extra goal here to go 4-3 up with only sort of 30 minutes left on the clock here. And how are Hullraisers going to respond? Well, not like that, I will say, as Ruben Diaz comfortably takes the ball back into the midfield. And again, we're going to get to see this sort of playing a little bit deeper. Jeremy Doku here is, well, they've got to be very creative with their move now. And
now we will really see the character tested of the Hullraisers as they finally go behind in this game. I think for the first time of this game. And they really need to pull something out of the bag, because otherwise they'll be losing 2-0. They'll be on to the next match, and they won't be making a great start to Group A.
Well, here it is, Luis Diaz in plenty of space. It's Mohamed Salah, a lovely ball in the back of the net, and that's a really sort of interesting equaliser here. 61 minutes in, and it's now gone 4-4. We have 8 goals in this tie. It's Erling Haaland. He'll look to.
He's found his way through.
He's found his way through.
5-4, unbelievable stuff. Just as we question the character of Stafford Dragons pushes right back. 5-4, and Manchester City, they will not stop.
They will not stop.
He scored 4 goals. That's 7 goals in 2 games, and this team is rocking.
What I will say is Stafford Dragons are very much holding their shape a lot better than Hullraisers are. I mean, that's an incredibly good slide tackle there to wipe Haaland out on his attack. But yeah, you look at the defending, the positioning of the defenders. It's, they're keeping that back 4 comfortably. And, well, I say that now as Federico Chiesa puts the ball out to an on-running, overlapping Andy Robertson here.
What can he do? He's got a very tight angle. He's trying to find Mohamed Salah. Again, Ederson won't be beaten by that angle. Position needs to be better. A few more people in the box. A little bit more help.
Yeah, and I think there was potentially an opportunity for him to cross that ever so slightly earlier.
Yeah.
I may be wrong here. Is this a potential offside from Haaland? No, it's not. It's a great through ball. As you said, yeah, it's Haaland. He's running into the box again. Thankfully, Andy Robertson there will stop that for the Hullraisers.
Erling Haaland is running right. The Hullraisers really need to do something about him, because whenever he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to score. He looks like he's going to run through whoever's in front of him and find the way to the back of the net.
It's a lovely ball over the top, however, for Darwin Núñez here from Mohamed Salah. He's got plenty of space and time, and will he try it? Oh, lovely little cutback. Oh!
That would have been a fantastic goal. Did the keeper get a touch?
No, he did not.
No, went completely wide. Erling Haaland, 7 shots to Núñez's 2. That kind of says the story of the tale for the strikers in this game.
I think that's sort of indicative, really, and we'll see here, the left-back change here of Simicast will come on for Robertson.
Yeah.
Will that make an effort down that left-hand side? Potentially, but again, it's indicative of how these players are playing their strikers.
Yeah.
You've got somebody big and strong, Erling Haaland, against Núñez, who can get in those little positions. And here he is again. Will he do a turn? No, he'll wait for his teammate. Doesn't matter. Trent's in the way. And that's what we like to see.
It is. It's brilliant defending. Trent, Gomez, Virgil van Dijk. And McAllister manages to lose the ball, unfortunately. Erling Haaland again trying to make their way through. The defence need to stick on a man marking, maybe 2 men on Holland right now, because any more goals and it's game, set, and match.
Well, this is what I said, again, it's the positioning of the defenders. You could quite comfortably see that they're holding that back 4 whenever they need to.
Yeah.
And it's not being the same for the Hullraisers, I'm afraid. There's Mohamed Salah here. He's got he's got someone in the box. It's Nunez is offside, however, and he's forced that corner, thankfully, out of Manu Akanji, and that was really, really important.
It's great attacking play from Mohamed Salah. Let's see if they can make do of this corner. Again, Edison's position, it doesn't really come to intuition, this one. But Edison wasn't the main cause of it. It was Guardiola. Yeah,
Guardiola, and he's working well with his defenders and his players. Is O'Reilly here in the middle?
I have noticed this O'Reilly. He seems to be, again, under the radar. Doesn't really get talked about a lot, but he seems to be solid in that midfield.
Yeah, he's been very, very solid. In that midfield, especially as the ball's gone very, very far out of play here for what looks to be a very late Liverpool throw-in.
Well, they can't score from there.
They
can't score from there.
We can see the passing accuracy there. It's 125 to 124 with a 90% passing accuracy for Liverpool. Not that it matters. It's Erling Haaland, but it's plenty of open space for Kevin De Bruyne there.
ADB, and with, I think, less than 10 minutes to go, that might be game, set, and match for the Stafford Dragons. They might win this series 2-0 unless we see an absolute blinding 10 minutes from the Hullraisers. Something needs to happen now.
Pretty accurate. As Nunez, he's in behind. He's got some space, got some time. No. Keeper's run forward. It's an error at the back.
That mistake could have been costly from Edison. But luckily for them, Nunez couldn't take advantage. And now, if you're Stafford Dragons, you can just pass around the back if you want to. You can just keep possession.
Yeah.
5 minutes to go. It should be an easy win.
Diogo Jota's come on the pitch here. It's a very offensive substitution. Maybe slotting back into a back 3 instead.
Well, you've got to go all out attack now. You have to go. With Ruben Diaz with the ball, winning the ball back over to Oscar Bob. Nice 1-2 there with Rodri.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Has he managed to? No, he has not managed to keep his line there. Erling Haaland.
An offside Erling Haaland.
Maybe the only mistake he's made this match.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Gravenberch here. He's, again, offside. It'll be advantage due to a...
he's taken the free kick. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Time-wasted play.
That's exactly
time management, should I say. Because it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's, without that part of the game here. And there's a lovely, great strength defending-wise here. They're just going to keep the ball here, and they're going to move it. They're just going to move it around. They're just going to have a bit of fun, Guardiola here, he's looking to force an error here.
I mean, you'd take it to the corner flag if you're in a real game, but with FIFA now,
with
EAFC, it's no need really. We have one more attack for the Hullraisers to get some consolation prize. But
Henderson, he's rushed forward.
Brick wall sweeper keeper has been phenomenal despite conceding 4 goals.
It's just incredible. I mean. There it is. Erling Haaland picking up that match ball.
It's a 6-4 phenomenal game. Again, first game 4-0, bit of a one-sided affair. Second game a much more entertaining. Hullraisers could really be proud of the way they kind of showed their character.
Yeah,
they didn't just lie on the belly. They went over.
Absolutely not.
And managed to score 4 goals. They went ahead, I think, at least 3 times in that game.
Yeah,
they could have taken it. They could have taken it. Stafford Dragons with the Manchester City team just too strong this time around. And we'll see if they can continue their run, because of course we'll be following them into our game. Our
game 2.
Our game later. Yeah.
So I think personally, everything went wrong after that penalty. I think you don't carelessly give away a penalty like that. Players who are using Van Dijk, who's very, very strong, he's got all that strength. You don't just give away that penalty. I mean, come on. No. It's one of those ones where when you're at this level, you need to be looking at, okay, if I'm going to make that tackle, it needs to be outside of the box. You shouldn't be making that sort of shoving tackle at all. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think as well what you have to reflect on is they could have gone 6-5, and there was a very, very, very much a chance that the Hullraisers could have come back. Just a couple of poor efforts from Nunez. That's all I have to point out there is when you're in that final third, you're in the box, you need to look at your finishing. You need to look at how am I going to be able to sort of, get this ball in the back of the net with some finesse. And that's just not what was happening at all.
Absolutely. They seem to get the ball a lot on the wings, with Robertson, with Szoboszlai, with Salah.
Yeah.
They seem to be on the wings a lot, but cutting in, getting the angles right, getting it to Nunez in a good position, just didn't seem to come to fruition for them. And again, if they managed to get that 5th goal, there was a little bit of a chance for them to stay in that game, push it on. And again, I believe if it's a draw at the end of the game, it goes to penalties.
Yeah, it goes to penalties.
So that anything can happen on penalties.
Oh yeah, anything can happen.
That's where it's a toss of coin.
Yeah, I mean,
can win.
I think you've explained it perfectly. Is the cutting inside was not sort of like their best attribute
That's a
today
good
for
one.
Hullraisers. You need to be better at that. Really, you've got to look at right. Okay, I've got really, really pacey wingers. I've got Chiesa. I've got Salah. I've got Szoboszlai in the midfield. I've got Nunez in the midfield. I've got McAllister in the midfield. Who admittedly, attacking midfielder. He's been playing a lot of defensive sort of like midfield recently.
Yeah.
How can I get these players? Bounce this ball up here. How can I get out on the wing? How can I get the ball to Salah? How can I cut in there? How can I stand just inside the box? Lovely bit of finesse. Green time that top left. That's exactly what people should be looking at here. It's a shame that that's not happened, and it's a shame obviously that Hullraisers weren't able to bring that back. I think what's really, really interesting is they didn't, like you said, they just didn't give up.
No,
they really showed their character there, and they showed actually okay, it's only game week 1. There are plenty more game weeks, but they're showing what is to come, and they're showing actually I'm not here to sort of just like lie down and let these teams walk over me. Group A is just going to be really, really interesting.
It's a great point you bring up, because similar to like a Premier League season, you see the Titans, Manchester City, for example, they haven't had the best start. Liverpool have had the best start. But again, Man City, they always seem to find their way back. They win those games. So the Hullraisers, it could be the same for them. They could pick up a few wins here and there, scrape some 2-1s, maybe some 2-0s, and really build their way back up this group to hopefully face the Stafford Dragons again, and maybe have a little rematch later in the group stage. But yeah, looking at the flip side, Stafford Dragons, Manchester City, what a performance. Erling Haaland. I mean, he's got to be man of the match for both games, hasn't he?
Oh, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean,
what's that, 7 goals total?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Double hat-trick, and, that spot kick squared away. I think what's really, really sort of interesting now is Stafford Dragons here. It's just an incredible performance. Will they, sort of look to come into this next game, stay with Manchester City, and just tear sort of like, the whole league apart? Really?
No, exactly. And yeah, I think that's what we really need to look for the next catch. Do they stay with the Manchester City for game 2? Or do they experiment with something new?
I mean, it's always good to sort of experiment with teams and team compositions. Obviously, you've got Oscar Bob on that right hand side. You've got O'Reilly in the midfield. 2 big changes really. From sort of like having Jack Grealish or one of the other sort of mainstay midfielders like Kovacic, for example. Yeah. I think what's really, really important is that if it works and it's tried and tested, keep going. Yeah. However, what I will say is, there are 10 teams on that list. There are some incredible teams on that list. Manchester City have been a very, very dominant team in England, for the last, couple of years. Will they keep that up? In sort of like this format with, the student champs? Probably. However, look at how well you can play with City. Look at how well, you might be able to play with other teams. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. Quite frankly,
I agree with you. I think that if it like I said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I personally would go with Manchester City in the second game. But again, you have to see the adaptation. The player might be better, he might be worse. We could see.
Yeah, you just never know. I just think that's really, really important.
Yeah. So I think with that said, we should be ready to toss it over to a quick break. Ready, preparing us for the for game 2. So we'll see you right after the break. Hello and welcome back to the British Esports Student Chance Cups. We're ready for game two,
Yeah.
between the Stafford Dragons, and it's
the Chi Cobras. Yeah,
Chi Cobras,
it's a bit of an interesting one here. So we're going to have another Group A match, as we've already mentioned. I'm excited to see, can the Chi Cobras stop this sort of run that the Stafford Dragons might be going on?
Absolutely.
They might be able to take two, straight games here tonight.
I mean, the train of Erling Haaland and Manchester City. If it keeps going like this, it will be. It'll be a tough one to stop, that's for sure.
It will be a tough one to stop. He's just a prolific goal scorer overall, and I'm very, very excited to see now what he can do here.
So if you were in the Chi Cobras position and you see the Manchester City, you see the game one, you see Stafford Dragons, how are you approaching this game? How do you think you would play this? Who would you pick?
I would probably pick a wonder team. I would probably
Real Madrid.
Well, I would probably look to pick Real Madrid. I would probably look to see, Bayern Munich. They've been very, very good. How can we sort of look at that? Let's not have sort of just the same teams, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we've just got to have a bit of just a bit of difference. And as we've just mentioned here, the Chi Cobras are going to be picking Real Madrid, and they are going to have that lineup of Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, and an incredible back four. And the Stafford Dragons, again, what did I say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They are going to keep that Manchester City lineup, and that's going to be very, very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, I love it. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. If no one can find a way to stop it, you don't need to.
No, yeah.
You don't need to. You don't have to find a way to get around it. You don't have to evolve, really. Just be better.
Yeah.
If you be better, you are. And again, I do quite like the Real Madrid pick. Again, they have the big players like you mentioned. They got the Jude Bellingham in the middle.
Yep.
Vinny Junior, who many think should have won the Ballon d'Or.
Well,
so obviously controversy.
I'm not getting into that one.
Not
touching that one. With a 10-foot pole. But I'm very, very excited to see here. We're very, very close now to starting this game up here.
Pep Guardiola. Ancelotti.
Yeah,
it's a great.
Well, it's a match of Titans, really, quite frankly, and I believe we're about to get right back underway here.
Hopefully so. That's what we are. And here we go. We have Real Madrid kicking right to left. We have Man City kicking left to right. Stafford Dragons for Man City, and Real Madrid will be the Chi Cobras. So here we have an early start with Real Madrid on the ball. With Valverde, and it seems a bit scrappy to begin with. Overall, it looks like the same kind of lineup as the game 1 and 2 for the Stafford Dragons. We'll see if the Chi Cobras can find a way around it.
Well, yeah, I mean, here we are. Jude Bellingham out wide. It's Endrick on the right-hand side instead of Rodrigo here. And that's a very, very big change.
Yeah.
You've got Vinny Junior cutting more up in sort of like that middle sort of striking position. And does that mean that then in that case Kylian Mbappe is out on that left wing?
That's a great high interception here from the Real Madrid team, but it's again been intercepted by Manchester City with Jeremy Doku on the left flank. Yeah, that's it. Rodrigo not playing it. Maybe that's a super sub that can come in later in the game if they need it. Fresh legs can always make a vital influence in EAFC. With Jeremy Doku now. Oscar Bob, sorry.
He's cutting in behind. Lovely shot there, and Courtois had to get down low, and it's wide now out to Danny Carvajal. Beautiful, beautiful ball here. Trying to find Kylian Mbappe. He won't be able to, I'm afraid, and it's back in the middle for O'Reilly.
I say Courtois is highly known as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he shows it again with Erling Haaland not being able to beat this wall.
What an incredible stop there for Courtois, and it's a short corner here for Kevin De Bruyne. It's a lovely, lovely wide, trying to find that deep post there. Can't clear it, however, and it's Oscar Bob. He's come back into the box, and Chouameni here, he'll be looking to go forward, and Ruben Diaz, he's played. That was just a bit far up here, and
just a little bit
to roll the ball out, I'm afraid. Haaland.
I do find it interesting how only Ederson and Manchester City and the Stafford Dragons have been positioning their goalkeeper for each corner kick. But as we have Kevin De Bruyne here, back to Oscar Bob. Great defending, but back again with Kevin De Bruyne. Scrappy back and forth.
It's just scrappy back and forth, yeah. It's really, really well played here. Courtois will get safe hands on it. They'll be able to now redistribute that ball out wide there for Endrick to get the ball into Chouameni here. It's Vinny Junior playing centre forward instead of Kylian Mbappe. He's now out on the left wing. Interesting change, I will say.
Mbappe said himself he doesn't want to be a striker.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be a striker. He wants to be on the left flank, or the right flank. Is that what what the players are thinking?
Yeah,
where he wants to be.
Is that going to be that they can have a more pacey winger?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both quite fast. Is it going to be Oscar Bob?
Great save again. It might take some doing getting past Courtois rather than Alisson this time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that lovely lineup at the back there, and Kylian Mbappe is just trying to get past Kyle Walker, but a veteran of English football, you can't get past Kyle Walker.
Well, that'll be a lovely little battle there. Kyle Walker versus Kylian Mbappe on that wing, pace versus pace. One of the fastest players in the Premier League, one of the fastest players in the world.
Yeah.
In both sides. But here we have Kevin De Bruyne pushing up. He's got tons of space on the side. Passes it to Erling Haaland.
Oh,
not this time.
Cracking stop there. We do have a quick pause queued.
It looks like 20 minutes of the game. I did capture 60% possession for Manchester City.
Yeah.
Which is well, it's deadly. It's deadly if they can find the back of the net.
It's just a domination here. And Endrick, well, he's come off the pitch. Does that mean that we will see Rodrigo out on that right-hand side? Well, that's potentially one of those problems that, you know, they're going to have to look at here for the Chi Cobras. Was that the right decision to bring Endrick on straight away and start him? And then you have a problem with, you know, pace potentially.
Yeah.
You know, you have this sort of young player who might not be as fully developed in this game yet. Now we're going to get to see the number 9 at Erling Haaland. He's going to press forward here, past his man, but Eder Militao in the way.
Maybe it was simply not thinking about it before the game. Didn't make that substitution before the game. 20 minutes in, they realised they want Rodrigo on the field, and they've made that substitution as soon as they found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be a simple tactical thing like that.
And O'Reilly, yeah, he's got the ball in. He's trying to find Haaland. He won't. Instead, Rudiger and Tchouaméni will get the ball here. We get to see the possession stats again. 3 shots here from Manchester City. 60%, 61% possession. It's lovely.
It's a great free kick angle. Will it be Erling Haaland again this time? Last time went straight into the wall. But can he? It's a bit more central this time. So he's got a bit of options when he wants to go left or right. You would expect him to go for the left-hand side.
That's like
trying to curler.
Lovely, lovely. Very, very close there. And you get to see a lovely bit of prowess again from Erling Haaland.
A lovely Trivella. He's lovely Trivella from the free kick.
Well, he's tried it. And you have to try it.
I mean, he's sticking with that Erling Haaland free kick taker. It's a great through ball here. Oscar Bob.
Oh,
again,
really
angles not this time, not this time. I want to know how many saves Courtois has already made.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those saving stats in them, you know, are just going to be incredible. You know. I think that's the difference from having somebody like Jan Sommer, who is a veteran of Swiss football,
Absolutely.
and, you know, having, you know, Becker, Alisson Becker, sorry, you know, who again is just a veteran. It's straight in the back of the net there. That's lovely there from Oscar Bob.
That's the commentator curse. As we were bigging about,
yeah.
You know, was that Oscar Bob, was it?
Yeah, Oscar Bob, yeah.
I believe him having a thunderous shot in the back of the net. And to be fair, I don't think any goalkeeper
could have stopped that. Yeah, the commentator's curse.
Should have proposed down earlier with the defenders and the attackers. So Real Madrid and the Chi Cobras need to buy back. And Rodrigo on the ball right now.
I see here that he's moved Vinny back out onto the left-hand side here, and what he's done is he's put Mbappe back in the midfield.
Yeah.
Back in striker, not in the midfield. That is something that he really needed to look at straight away and go, was that really, really, you know, the right decision here?
Yeah, it seems like he's maybe wasted 20 minutes of the time in this game, having them in the wrong positions.
Well,
PDB can't manage to get through the defence.
And it'll be thrown right back out again here to Rodrigo, who is making more of an impact than Endrick was. He's had to slow the ball down here. Back to Mbappe. Was that really the right move to go to Bellingham? Yes, it was, clearly, because Rodrigo's back on the ball. Is it a cheeky chip in? It is. Is it a shot?
Ball.
What a worldie!
What a goal.
Lovely, lovely volley. And this is what I was saying before the game as well, is that, you know, that needed to happen.
Well, that of course, he doesn't want to play striker, but clearly it's working. You don't put him against Kyle Walker, you put him straight down the middle, and he can produce finishes like that, which do rival that of Erling Haaland.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is what we like to see out of somebody, you know, with Kylian Mbappe's quality, is can you get this ball in the back of the net in that, you know, in that way? And Oscar Bob, he's exploited so much space here. He's running in the box here. Will it be Jeremy Doku? No.
I do love how the Stafford Dragons is using Oscar Bob and Jeremy Doku with the ball rolls in the cutting in, making sure they get the right angles. But here comes, it's good defending from Real Madrid, and we have a breakaway which has been prevented by Oscar Bob.
It's a bit of an interesting tackle there in the midfield.
It is a little bit.
Ferland here, he'll try and get the ball wide, and it's Kylian Mbappe with plenty of space and time.
Space, great ball out wide to Rodrigo, who's trying to find his way past.
But he can't. Not past Guardiola, I'm afraid. You know, a very, very solid left back he's been so far this season. Again, not his natural position, but it's been incredible here. We'll look to see how Doku in the last minute here can try and exploit some of that space. Oh, that's a beautiful
great skill move there. With Erling Haaland on the ball now, is he going to have a crack? He has it, but it's so weak. That is not good enough. And that is the end of the half. And it's been very, very even. Yeah. But it seems a bit cagey.
Yeah, it seems like this can go either way. You know, again, you look at Mbappe, who's only really had, as you can see there, one attempt.
Yeah.
But you look at somebody like Haaland, who's had several attempts here, and who's been in the box so much more. We were saying this in the first game, where it's one of those things where you're now struggling again. You know, you're on the back foot. Well, they were on the back foot. They're now not on the back foot, sorry. But again, struggling. How is it that we can get players into the box? And this is what we were saying about the Liverpool game and obviously the Inter game, is that, you know, there's not enough running into the box. You know, they're playing too deep in the midfield. They need to keep pushing forward. And yeah, well, we are back after that half time there.
Yeah, really the high press for Stafford Dragons seems to be doing well, but Real Madrid, they just seem to hang in there. The Chi Cobras really seem to be a bit more solid foundation at this very first match for them. But yeah, we'll see how the second half of this very first game in the best of 3 seems to go.
And what would have been a lovely little breakaway there from Rodrigo has been definitely cut out there by Gvardio, and it's out back to Walker and Bob here on this right-hand side, and he's just cutting far up towards the corner post. Maybe he's looking to force a corner here. Little fake shot, trying to throw the opponent off.
Absolutely. The way Oscar Bob's being utilised, I think, is phenomenal from the Stafford Dragons here. Trying to find Jeremy Doku, not happening this time. So out to Rodrigo, finding out Kylian Mbappe, who's got no support. However, back on the ball now. Can he use his pace? Can he use a bit of skill? Valverde's on the ball.
Valverde on the ball here. Lovely little wide-out shot, but sadly, he's had that defender, Ruben Diaz. He's cut in front of him, and he's cut that straight out. There was,
Absolutely. Not going to be Edison with that kind of shot. Need to get more power, a bit of finesse, a bit of skill on that. As we see a chip through ball, trying to find Erling Haaland, not going to be successful, but he's won the ball back.
He has won the ball back here, and again, we're looking at how are they going to be, using this this lovely midfield space. They've got so much. I mean, you look at it here. There's a lot of white shirts back. There's 6 white shirts back, but again,
there is
those burgundy shirts in the middle that they just cannot be stopped. They're exploiting so much space here. And again, left back Gvardio playing so high up the pitch is lovely from what we need to see from a wing back. That's exactly what we are seeing.
Yeah, Stafford Dragons really trying to continue with that high press success, which doesn't seem to be as successful this game, but it seems to be pretty lethal when he can get it off. Currently, we've got Edison on the ball here, finding Kyle Walker on the right back position, finding Oscar Bob, and they're just trying to keep possession, but mistakes just seem to be being made here.
It's very, very easy ones, like short passes not going the right way. Kylian Mbappe's tried that, but Edison, he's seen that.
Yeah.
It's really, really simple mistakes. Players running into players. The tackle's not being created at the right time. It's short passes are going completely awry.
Yeah.
These are mistakes that I can understand for nerves.
Exactly.
From like a nervous perspective, but they have to be sorted out really.
Well, first game jitters always happens, but you'd expect the Stafford Dragons, having 2 games already on their belt, to be a bit more composed than that. Again, still first day though. We'll see how they can progress, and they're still 1-0. It's a really close game, can go either way. And it seems to just be back and forth right now.
That's a lovely, lovely little interception there from Manu Akanji. And as I've mentioned, all these problems, they're very, very simple. It's positioning, it's simple stuff.
Yeah.
Doku there, he's cut definitely behind Carvajal, and he'll try that. Lovely little hook around the right foot here, as we'll see. Potentially Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, we'll see Erling Haaland take this.
I'm not sure about this one. I think he might change that again.
Yeah.
I think Erling Haaland is not your ideal corner taker.
No.
Kevin De Bruyne going to whip it in. Near post, doesn't find his man. And it seems to be cleared.
Not cleared.
Ruben Diaz. Kevin De Bruyne trying to take a finesse shot. Courtois having none of it.
Ever so slightly wide there. A bit of a rough one, quite frankly.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got about 20 minutes left in this game. Real Madrid pushing up here, trying to find Kylian Mbappe. Not working out with Akanji. So now we've got Jeremy Doku trying to make some step overs. He's found his way to Kevin De Bruyne. A lovely fake shot. He's had a crack, and it's a fantastic finish. Edge of the box for KDB. And I think that's his first goal. It might be his second today.
Might be his first or second. But yeah, that was just incredible here. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely, KDB.
Just phenomenal.
In my opinion, one of the best players in the Premier League, if not the best player in the Premier League. We see a substitution, Alaba coming on for the Real Madrid side. They really need a goal now. 20 minutes left. They need to make something happen with Jeremy Doku. It's all Manchester City now. It's all Stafford Dragons. The tempo's really switched. And the possession's back with the Stafford Dragons, where Jeremy Doku can't get past Carvajal.
He's just taking a bit of a heavy touch there,
yeah.
And thankfully Carvajal, he's managed to spot that there, and the Cobras have managed to get that. I think his problem here is pace. He cannot get past Akanji, cannot get past Ruben Diaz. Alaba at the back now to have as an extra, sort of like just a pair of fresh legs to go alongside Rudiger.
Well, that's especially with Erling Haaland here on the ball again. He's made a lovely little skill move. Courtois not allowing it. Lovely strong right hand. And let's see if Real Madrid can find their way out of the high press. They have managed to, with Rodrigo on the ball now. Can't get the defense of Manchester City has been really, really strong.
It's been incredible, and I think what we're looking at here is a serious issue of, again, positioning.
Yep.
We're having this problem with Rodrigo. Every time he gets the ball, he'll have Akanji come across, or he'll have Gvardio come across and just take the ball away from his feet. And Federico Valverde's picked the ball up in midfield, but it's a very, very awry pass from Bellingham, and that's not going to find anybody, I'm afraid.
Well, when does it become, it's a reoccurring issue? We've seen it in the first 2 games, we see it in this game. When does it become a reoccurring issue to just great defending or great maybe setup play from the Stafford Dragons?
Yeah, I agree, and it's going to be very, very interesting to discover whether or not the Stafford Dragons can make this a complete 2-0 sweep today, or whether or not the Cobras can come back. And Jeremy Doku, he's away here. He's got plenty of time and space, and it's a lovely little.
He's never going to miss that.
He was never going to miss that. And that's another goal to add to his potential 8-9 tally today.
He was never going to go a game without scoring, I don't think. And it looks like Man City cannot be stopped. Stafford Dragons in the hand. The accuracy of their passes just as good, pretty even as the Real Madrid players, but they're doing more with it. As we have Jeremy Doku, Erling Haaland, and what goal to Oscar
that's
Bob. That is a
lethal.
class goal. And in the blink of an eye, it went from 1-1 to 4-1.
Yeah, and
it looks like game set and match for Stafford Dragons, looking to go 1-0 up in this best of 3.
Yeah, best of 3, and that's an Oscar Bob brace today. And yeah, you were just saying on it, 91% passing accuracy, less passes than Manchester City.
Absolutely.
However, that's a bit of a risky one, Edison.
With 5 minutes to go, you could just see again,
Yeah.
time wasting, time management, control the ball, control the possession, and you don't need to do anything fancy. I say that he wants to get another goal. KDB trying to find Haaland again, trying to get a brace, not happening. With Jeremy Doku winning it high up the pitch, can he? Doesn't need Erling Haaland.
That's nasty. To be fair, that is a lovely little bit of a ball roll backwards to get that ball in a better position to try and score.
I'm a bit shell-shocked, I can't lie. 1-1, we thought a very cagey first half, really even, and it's just been blown out of proportion, and this Real Madrid side just seems to be collapsed, really. One goal after another, Erling Haaland scoring the goal, KDB, Oscar Bob, it's now Jeremy Doku.
I mean, the Stafford Dragons are running away with this, quite frankly.
They really are.
The Chi Cobras here, they weren't struggling in the first half. It was very even. The second half, at least for the first 20 minutes, has been very, very nice.
Yeah.
Coming into this now, what a display of just sheer strength from the Stafford Dragons yet again. To go 1-0 up in this in this best of 3 tie here.
That's
very, very important. 5 goals on the board.
Game set and match. 1-0 to the Stafford Dragons in this best of 3. Can they get the sweep again?
Can they get the sweep?
2-0.
That is.
This is the Hullraisers earlier on. Can they do it with the Chi Cobras? They really like the dominant side here. They've only played Man City.
Yeah.
They've only played Man City, and again, it's not breaking.
No.
Don't fix it.
Yeah. Again, that's the thing. Are we, however, going to see the Chi Cobras try and make that switch? Because Real Madrid performed, I don't want to say better, I don't want to say worse. They performed probably about the same as Liverpool did.
Yeah.
However, we've seen now, what was that, 4 teams? Are we going to potentially see another one come through? Are we going to see,
Man City cut them down again?
Yeah. Are we going to see, Man City again? But, is there going to be a change? Are we going to now not have Real Madrid, who were performing okay up until sort of like that latter part of the second half, 60 minutes in, where things started to go a bit wrong for them. At least there was no sort of penalty there. I think what's going to be really, really interesting to look at, especially, is how are things going to change, positioning wise, defending wise. It's just, how are things going to change?
Well, we can compliment Stafford Dragons how they played till the cows come up, because they've obviously played a phenomenal 3 games. But now you have to transition. They obviously look like the heavy favourites. They look like a really big contender in this group, in Group A. How are teams going to combat that? How are they going to make their transitions with your position in play, with the change of teams? Do they look to maybe a wildcard team, Atletico Madrid, PSG, Bayer Leverkusen? There's 10 teams in this pool. We've only seen Man City and the Stafford Dragons. Maybe try and, if you poke some holes in there, you can find other ways to exploit them, and then other teams can be watching and see how to beat the Stafford Dragons team. Because right now they seem a bit untouchable.
Again, I am at a loss for words yet again. They had me completely stunned in the first game. They'll have me completely stunned in this game. I think it was a really, really good display of strength from the Chi Cobras to try and go the distance with the Stafford Dragons. They have a couple of teams in the Stafford Dragons do, and I think what they're showing is just that prowess.
It is,
that ability to move the ball forward, but also come back and get that defensive line in, and that's really, really important in my opinion.
And that's it. Amongst what they played, like 3 games now, they've conceded none in the first game, 1 in that game. Of course, they conceded 3 or 4 in the second game.
Yeah, they conceded 3 or 4.
Yeah, but those things happen, and out of all the teams we've seen, their defense has been the strongest, and their attack has been the strongest as well. So when you've got that great balance of attacking prowess, as you say, and defensive stability, I mean, who can stop them?
Who can? I mean, you cannot stop a team as dominant as Manchester City. I mean, in the Premier League recently, that's been the case. However, when you're playing this, and when you have talented players and talented students sat there, really, really showing their skill off to just to the scene overall, I think that's going to be really, really interesting. How are they going to be able to change their lineup now? How what has to change? If they go back to Real Madrid, fair enough, perfectly fine.
I mean, you see the first half, it worked.
Yeah, it worked, but is Endrick the right choice for that right-hand side?
Well, they changed after 20 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah.
After 20 minutes, they made the change, and I think it might have just been something before the game they didn't think about. They didn't really think it would be that big of an impact. Clearly, 20 minutes in, decided, nope, this isn't the way we're going to go. Moved Mbappe to the middle of the field, got Rodrigo out on the wing, and well, like I said, they first half was fine. First half was complete, bit cagey from each team, but if they hold the Manchester City team as a caginess, they've done well.
No, yeah.
They've done well, and I quite like how you can see, as you mentioned, the students. I'm sure they've been preparing very much for this this cup. So I'm sure the Stafford Dragons has really been, honing into this Manchester City team, finding out what works for them, how to play with them. Maybe the Chi Cobras, who we have just told, we've just been told they will play Arsenal in this game, so they have got the switch up.
Bit of a switch up. Yeah, I will say.
Madrid.
Whether or not that was the best choice under their belt will, remain to be seen. However, I think that it's going to be really, really interesting to see. Arsenal are one of those ones where in the Premier League things can go both ways. They made that really, really big signing from Bologna in the summer with Calafiori, which is a really, 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 really strong defender.
Yeah.
How are we going to be able to see that utilised here? That is really, really important. Again, another change. That's 5 teams on the day here, but the Stafford Dragons, they are very, very standing strong here.
That's it. We'll have to wait to see if they stay with Manchester City. But yeah, the Arsenal team, they do well in the last few years. They've been one of the powerhouses in the Premier League. Will it transition to the EAFC game? We'll have to see. I really don't know what to expect from Arsenal. They're quite wild card. Didn't expect them.
I just think that's really, really interesting choice. You go from a team like Real Madrid, very, very dominant in Europe last season, to Arsenal, who they've had their struggles. Who hasn't?
Who hasn't?
I am a Manchester United fan. Who has not had their struggles in recent years? However, I think what's going to be interesting is Arsenal have a strong squad. How are you going to utilise that strong squad? How are we going to get? How are we going to get to see here? Sort of like these things. How are we going to get to see these players? Are they going to be moving back into that midfield as we've seen so many times already? What's the wing play going to be like? Because we've already seen that Kyle Walker, Manu Akanji, and Vardiol have been just incredibly fast. You have not been able to get anybody past there at all. Of course, Liverpool had that chance. Mohamed Salah, who was he's obviously fast himself.
Salah played brilliant.
He's going to just completely be able to cut inside, but Real Madrid just was not the choice. Is Arsenal going to be anything different? Are they going to be able to utilise those wingers and cut inside?
Well, that's what I would say. If it was Arsenal, who would you look at as those target men? Would it be Saka?
Yeah.
Would it be Havertz? Who would those players be that can utilise and really break through that strong defence of the Manchester City side? Who would you say?
I think.
Do you look to your Sakas? Do you look to your Havertz?
I think what you have to look at as well is
Martinelli, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was just about to mention like Martinelli, really, 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 really important player. I think. So is Havertz.
Mm-hmm.
So is Saka. I think there's a lot of hype around Saka. I think he's going to do really, really well. I would like to see that. You're going to have to utilise your players in a better way. You have a very, very stacked midfield with Arsenal here, and just how is it going to change here?
Well, that's it. Yeah, I'm not entirely entirely clear of the exact formation that the Arsenal team play. Do they play with a false 9 with Havertz in the strike position, or do they play with the 4-3-3? I'm not too familiar with the Arsenal game of being a top.
No, I think last week they played 4-3-3.
4-3-3,
and it's a very just basic one.
Yeah, generic kind of what we've been accustomed to today.
But what we've seen as well, which is really, really nice, is this sort of play of you've got your Haaland at the top, you've got your wingers, you've got your midfield 3, which has been incredible. You've got O'Reilly, De Bruyne, and Rodri, and they're playing this sort of this 4-1 sort of 4-1-4-1 formation.
Yeah,
which has been really, really useful, and that's something that City will utilise because they have that ability where Rodri is just going to stand there. He is a brick.
No one's getting past it.
How is the potential of a 4-3-3, even like a 4-3-2-1? How is that going to help? That's what's really, really interesting.
I just wanted to highlight again. I know we talked about it, or we mentioned it in game. O'Reilly, he's standing there with Rodri and KDB, 2 of the best players in the Premier League in extension of the world, and he's been masterclass. He's been brilliant in the holding position. Is he a bit more of a you got Rodri in the holding position, KDB and O'Reilly as well, feeding Doku, feeding Bob, and then feeding Haaland, which is clearly working. And he's the favourite rather than the others on the bench.
He is, yeah, definitely, without a doubt, the favourites. And I'm very, very sort of like looking forward to seeing what are we going to be able to see here from this City side. We've seen already they've been completely dominant. There is 3 games under Stafford Dragons' belt now at the moment. Out of potentially, if they win this next one, there will be 4 games. It'll be 4-0, and that's an incredible start to their season. This is only Group A. There are plenty more groups happening right now.
There's constant matches going on. And these groups aren't small.
They are not small. These are
there's a lot of teams in there, so a lot of places and a lot of games to get through. So if you're another team looking at this game, looking at the Stafford Dragons, I got them next week. Oh, how am I going to get through this Manchester City team? You might have to spend a few days this week working out your tactics. Do you go for a bit of a wild card? Do you go for a run back the Real Madrid? Again, the first half was so solid, it felt like.
Yeah.
But the second half, again, as you said, as soon as the first goal went in, it was kind of game over from there.
Well, I was just about to say, I'm really, really sorry for the delay.
Yes.
Chi Cobras were struggling to get into the match. However, we've just been told that Chi Cobras have now had to sadly forfeit their second game, which means that Stafford Dragons will pick up 2-0 here today. It's a shame we didn't get to see the Arsenal side.
It's very sad,
I'm told that they sort of, were having to leave, which is completely fine, Wow, what could have been? Arsenal, that would have been really, really exciting to see, quite frankly. I would really, 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 would have loved to have seen.
It's a very
play.
interesting prospect that could have happened. And again, it's a shame that the Chi Cobras, they had to forfeit this game. But on the flip side, Stafford Dragons 4-0 on the day, 2-0 series-wise. They'll be going straight to the top of Group A.
Straight to the top.
And they will be, as we were saying less than a couple of minutes ago, if you're playing them the next week, how are you going to break them down?
I just don't think you can, quite frankly.
Just got to be better.
It's just one of those things, yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Well, again, since the games are all done, it's been a great day of watching EAFC, and we look forward to the next joining you next time for more Student Champs. So tomorrow we got League of Legends. If you'd like to join us there, next week we have Apex Legends. So feel free, please. Thursday Apex. Sorry, just been told. And yes, next week Tuesday, you can join us again for EAFC, which hopefully we have some more. Fantastic matches.
Yeah, well, you never know. We might even have Stafford Dragons again in that Group A. But yeah, it'd be really, really exciting to see.
Okay, so yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Oh, incredible.